Hello and welcome to another wonderful edition of The Desk on this beautiful Salah day. Barakah Salah to all the Salah people celebrating Salah, the Muslim faithfuls around the world, not just Nigeria, but around the world where the celebration is going on. My name is Ramsey Enoch. And on the desk today, we want to look at Salah celebration. My God, it's a wonderful day. It is a public holiday. The celebration is on. The atmosphere is heated up with so much eating, drinking, and a lot of other activities going on today because of the Salah celebration. So we want to look at the Salah celebration, but we would be concentrating on the significance of Eid Kabir. That's what we want to look at today. And I have a Muslim faithful joining me on the program today in the person of Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. It's good to have you today on the program once again.
Thank you very much.
Let me start by saying Barakah de Salah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, that's the response. Barakah de Salah, Salaam alaikum.
Yeah.
That's the response. So if you tell me Barakah de Salah, I will say Salaam alaikum.
Salam alaikum is just peace be unto you and peace be unto the house, or peace be unto the people. So Salam alaikum is just a general greeting. It's not because of the significance of the Salah.
Oh, the Salah.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at Salah celebration. As a matter of fact, you can see, even while you were coming to the studio, you can see how the road is dry because everybody is celebrating. At some places, you see people having fun and doing so many things, eating and drinking everywhere. What's the significance of this Salah celebration?
Oh, well, the significance is open. We just finished the fasting some 70 days ago, and today we are into the mood of celebrating. When you finish the fasting, you are being given a gap because some people has macheted and the rest from the fasting. So it is a period of cleansing, and now we are out of it, and we know what we went through during the period of fasting for 30 days. So when you go through those rigorous process, your purification, your cleansing, your mindset, your emotional embodiment, the sentimental followership, and all these indices, you come to crown it all with what has these people gone through. So there is a classification, and those classifications are what we call the process of obedience to the words and doctrines of Allah. When these crowns and doctrines are looked into, you look at them deeply into what is the significance, what did I go through during the process of fasting. So you go into the payment of zakah, you come into the aligners of the poor, you come into the aligners of the people in prison, you go into the alignment with the people in the hospital, or you come into alliance with other people who have gotten some kind of process, they have following the deep sense of it, and this sense of it is what you are feeling. So you now come out to say this is how to salvage it. So, and when they said during the Eid you have to slaughter a ram, it is not just a ram. When you can slaughter a cow, a cattle, not the mall, but not a cow, but a cattle. You can slaughter a camel, you can slaughter a goat and a ram. It's not necessarily that it must be a ram.
But what's so unique about ram, because everybody, especially those that are not Muslim faithfuls, they look at ram, the slaughtering of ram as been synonymous to Salah celebration, especially the Baban Salah, the big Salah.
The process is that in the days of old, we have the lamb, which is almost like the ram. So more in where in where we emanate from, the Islam emanate from, it is actually lamb. And when these lambs, which we have as rams here, becomes enough, because it's the easiest one, it is chewable, is delicious, is soft. So the old can take it, the young can take it, every age can take ram. But that is why ram, because if you watch the slaughter of Abraham, which is Ibrahim, you understand me, that process of slaughter was not done with a cattle. It was not done with a camel. It was not done. So these other animals, because they are all of the same gene, can be slaughtered, but the most paramount and significant is the ram.
It's the ram.
Yes.
What about people who don't have what it takes to slaughter a ram? Can we say their celebration is not complete?
No, normally, why we are celebrating is a success story, is a turned processes, is the turned to see the light on the other route. Now you are processing to see the light. You are on the other side. You have been in the comfort zone. You can afford these luxuries every day. What you are doing now is to give it out to those who cannot afford the luxuries. It's not for you. The celebration is a wrong celebration when you have to boil the meat, fry it, start partying, when you know that the significance is not for you because you can afford it. It is for those who are the have-nots.
Okay, I'm trying to get something here. You mean the slaughtering of the lamb, the ram now, is supposed to be for the less privileged? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So it's not supposed to be cooked at all?
No, it's not supposed to be cooked.
So how?
When you slaughter your ram, you already has in mind those who are the have-nots. So you take portions of the ram and give to them. If you want some for you, that means you have already contented that you have given enough to people before yourself. So most especially, you are not supposed to be just giving the ram meat out. Like here, let's look at our staple foods: rice, beans, corns, maize corn, guinea corn, millets, and the rest. You give these ones with just the ram meat out. You don't just give a ram meat to somebody to go and boil and eat. You don't just fry, and it is not something that these things are things that you apportion and said, this can be comfortable for this family for at least some 3 days or on, or 1 week or on. Not just because I slaughter a ram, I'm contented to buy one and take care of my immediate family need. No, it is not so. That is not the process.
So people who killed ram, what's expected of them today is you kill the ram, then you look for stable food, maybe rice, grain, or whatever, and add to the meat.
Yes.
And give to people who are poor, families that are poor, so they can eat for a number of days.
Yes, it's not just I gave them.
But what if you cook it and you just share it out to people?
That is to me is partying. That is not the additing. That is not the doctrine of savaging. So because you are supposed to savage, it's a situation where you went into a process of fasting. You have come out of this the process of fasting. You have actually mirrored within some time that, oh, so this is what people are going through. So if you watch very well, before now, people have started giving out their zakat, which is their offering of gift. Before now. So some people did it till yesterday.
Okay, giving out of gifts,
yes,
like hampers and the rest.
No, yes, and some people have already given some bags of rice out, some food stuff out. Some who has enough money has total what is their zakat, and they have given out that. Some in millions, some who are very comfortable has given out in billions. That is what is supposed to be done. You can go to the hospital and pay the total bill of people who cannot afford it.
That's how to celebrate Salah?
Yes, that is how to celebrate it. It's not a jamboree. It's not a show-off.
But then, let's get this understanding. What's the connection between almsgiving and Eid Kabir celebration? What's the connection?
The connection is this. What is missing? The missing link between I who is opportuned and that who is not opportuned. We are all human beings. We are created and classified as same. We have same blood flowing in our veins. I was opportuned does not make the other person not to be opportune. So that person has to be given the privilege not to look at himself as lesser. Even Allah has not said you should look at anybody lesser. So how did you bring that person? Because a human embodiment is circled on expectation and hope. What is that man's expectation? What is that woman's expectation? What is that child's expectation? These are the things that the doctrine has already outlined principally, because you can fall to such categories at any given time. You can also fall into lack. Nobody has it all. So at that point, are you going to look at yourself lesser? Or you will just say, this is brotherhood, and I have a survival stream, which is my obedience, my surveillance to Allah. So we shouldn't look at it as Allah has made it all for some of us and the other people are lesser.
Oh, okay, let's look at it now. When you talk about this almsgiving, showing of love and all of that, what's the relationship? Does it have any connection with people who are of different faiths? Or what you're saying now, the giving of maybe bag of rice to the less privileged, is it just within the confine of the Muslim faithful, or it affects other faiths too?
The Islam preached neighborhoodness. Neighborhoodness does not show that you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are a Jewish, you are a Judas, or no. The prostration, your prostration drives people to your belief. If you said this is a Christian and you discriminate between a Christian and whatsoever, then you are not creating a stream system for people to believe in your structure. We go down the line and see how do you convince me that Islam is the best if I am not a Muslim? When you chastise me or when you intimidate me, will I become a Muslim? No. I will not take myself to become a Muslim when I am chastised, intimidated, or cursed and abused. So, neighborliness is one of the golden rules of Islam, that you must always love your neighbor as yourself. It is a rule, it is a doctrine that you cannot run out of. And there is no specification of that religion. No. Everybody must be carried along, because it is what you portray that makes people to believe in you, have confidence in you, and trust you. So if you want to portray the will of Allah's purification, you must make sure you are bringing it out of your heart to offer that service and sacrifice, not disservice.
All right. There's something that is very unique with the Eid celebration, and that is, I don't know, but then, like this morning, while I was coming to the office, everywhere was blocked. You see people praying on the road. You see people, they have a ground. There's a ground where people gathered from all over the big. In fact, the vice president was also there today for the prayers. And you see some people, different areas, coming to embark on this prayer. I don't know. How important is that prayer? What happens to you? Because it appears if anyone doesn't go for that prayer, maybe there is a penalty for it or something, because you see people rushing, people running, everyone want to be part of it, irrespective of your age, your tribe. And that's one place that you see the unity that you just talked about playing out, where you have the vice president, you have commissioners, you have people in governance, sharing the same praying ground with the less privileged, irrespective of who you are. If you can't enter where the ground is, you see people praying even along the road and everywhere. So what's the importance of that? What happens if you don't partake in that prayer?
Yeah, if you don't partake in that prayer, you are losing by counts of blessings that follows the prayer, because it's a gathering of the faithfuls. And when the gatherings of the faithfuls, you are not there, means that you are not one of the faithfuls. But if we want to go around that route, there is already a teaching that goes on from the imam or the leader of the prayer of that day. That teaching is what you are supposed to listen to before the prayer. A lot of people will not go there on time to listen to the teaching, but they follow the prayer.
Why do people skip the message?
No, it depends on where you are coming from. Some people come from very far to get there.
It's not deliberate.
It's not. It can be deliberate. So you're trying to meet up, and sometimes you cannot meet up. Maybe for some factors or the other. But there is a specific impact of that prayer to you, that speech, that awakening, that inspirations that followed you. Because if we look at this day and we want to follow what these days has taught us, we will look at the case of what people say the Almajiris. We will have used this scheme to eliminate the Almajiris, even as you are not going to totally eradicate it, but you will have empowered them. But we are doing it the wrong way. So we are not doing it as the doctrine has said. If after this month of Ramadan to this period of Eid Kabir, if we have been able to empower 100 to 1 million faithfuls, we will know that we have taken a lot of these people out of the street. We will have been able to build academics and educational institutions, health institutions that primarily will have taken care of some substances. But that is not the leading, because the modern day Islam is not the Islam of yesterday, and they are not going into the books. The Islamic studies, the Islamic doctrines, the Islamic culture, the Islamic tradition, the Islamic inspirations, the Islamic movement is not moving with the pace of modernization. So you see people who come and say these are Almajiris. Almajiris are not people who are supposed to be beggars. They are supposed to be scholars. They are supposed to be people who are nurtured to understand the temerity, the importance, and the propagating factors of Islam. They are supposed to be evangelists, what Christians call evangelists. But
just a minute. I think you're saying something very interesting here. At least I happen to stay in the north for a very long time, Kano State to be specific. And one of the things that people know about Almajiris is that they beg, they carry loads. You know, there are some they call Dandoko. You know, some they call them Almajiri. They beg from house to house. You know, to feed and all of that. But I'm so amazed that you said they are not supposed to. So how did they get into begging? Because that's what a lot of people know them for. So what happened along the line?
It's a traces of what we call economic prosperity in sub-Saharan Africa, mostly in Nigeria. When you want to make use of people without driving them to see the high side of their life, to capture their personality, to capture their area of focus, to capture what their strength, to capture their belief, to capture their values. That is where we find ourselves. So if you rate them negatively, instead of bringing them positive thoughts, to make them realize their values. So because you want to continue to use them, you come in line to build them to the others. So you who is building them, why are you not building your children that way?
So who exactly are you referring to when you say you? Who are you referring to?
Somebody approached you and said, I want to take your child to become Islamically oriented.
Who are the people in that category? Is that what are they
It's
called?
normally the less privileged. You take the less privileged children.
Who is coming to take these children? Who are the people coming to take these children? Who are they?
Those who call themselves Islamic, or I don't call them Islamic educators. I call them Islamic doctrine teachers. Because the art of Islam, the art of real Muslims, or the Muslim themselves, will not want to perpetuate into such acts because it is inhuman. If I want to bring anybody as an Islamic scholar under me, I should be able to know that I can feed the person, I can clothe the person, I can take care of the person, I can do everything that I can do for my own children for that person. If I'm not doing that, I have recourse to my creator. And this set of people don't care. All they want to tell you is that they have to fend for themselves. So you give them a plate, goes to the street, whatever they get, they come. So even if they have to join some black art gang or so, it's not your business.
But what about the parents of these children? Where the scholars, or what do you call them?
You have doctrinated. You doctrinated them. These are very less.
I think you need to be specific for understanding sake. When you say you doctrinated them, are you referring to me? Because when you say you, and so I want us to just be make it black and white. Just say this. Call the person who is doctrinating them.
My brothers who in Islam who have relegated Islam to the position they are today, has doctrinated them.
Now you're talking.
And the period we will use to remove them from that kind of cadre of doctrines becomes very difficult. Because most of them who resume as position of leadership went through the same doctrine pattern.
Okay,
and they believe that is the only way out.
Oh, you mean some persons, some of those people, okay, are now leaders? Is it public office holders in governance or?
Both in governance, in the public sector, in the private sector, in the economic sector, whatever.
But the question I want to ask is, if you can conscientize the child, let's assume these are children that have been conscientized all right, to believing certain things that did not turn out to be what they were meant to understand. What about the parents that released these words? What about the parents?
To the parents, I said, have been indoctrinated.
Oh, just like the children.
Yes, to say that whatever you face, it's just like when I went to, I was in a vehicle in Lagos, and somebody said that after all, Islam said that when you kill, you are being given 7 angels in heaven. And I look at the young man and said, 7 angels in heaven. They said 7 virgins. I said, what 7 virgins? So where did you get 7 virgins in heaven for killing when the same Quran said you did not create even a hair and you cannot take a hair?
So people who believe, I think I've heard some persons say things like that before. So it is wrong. It is a wrong statement. It's not in the Quran.
It is just a conversion of the mindset. If I convert you into Islam, the gate of heavens opens for me. That is just it.
Okay, there's nothing like when you kill, you will be given 7.
You know, the Arabic word is just like today, before now. If you see a Yoruba man leads prayer in the mosque, you see a lot of my people not following up with the prayer because of what?
Who are your people?
The Northerners, the Hausas. The Hausas Fulanis will not follow. Because of what? Because of pronunciation. Because one, Allah Akbar means that God is great. Allah is great. The Yoruba man will say Allahu Akbar, which means that Allah is a dog. God is dog. So it's just a pronunciation. It's not a reflection of the mind. But in those days, because of people not understanding that tongues changes and it is a schematic thing, we said, no, I can't follow the Yoruba man to pray because he's calling God dog. So what you reflect to in the interpretation, that is why I said the concept of interpretation is misrepresented in Islam. You can't not have been educated and you come and start telling me the concept of Islam. What you were taught were just the lines. You don't know Arabic. You don't speak Arabic. You don't understand Arabic. You don't have the notion of Arabic. So it is what one person has passed to you. That is what you are passing to number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. But in the modern day, where I stand today, you should not come and tell me those things that are not written, that you cannot interpret, because I can interpret them better than you.
So as it is right now, what you are trying to say in your own opinion is that the Yoruba, a Muslim Yoruba man is not the same as a Northern and a Hausa Yoruba man.
No, I was just giving you an example of an instant of what used to happen because of the tongue. So when you brought up,
it's the same written. Is the thing has the same? It is written. In different ways.
I make example. I said like the Yorubas would, the Northerners will say Allah Akbar, which is Allah is great. Then the Yoruba tune will come Allahu Akbar, which means that Allah is a dog. So the average Hausa Fulani man will say that intonation is wrong. That is in those days because
it has been corrected now.
A lot of people now follow the Yorubas to pray. They don't care any longer because that awareness has come that it is the tongue, it is not the mind, it's not the mindset, it's not the feeling, it's not any position of whatever relevancies it is. But that is what happens to that verse that makes them believe that if you kill, you will have some angels that will guide you in heaven. There is no such portion.
So who gave that interpretation? Is it the Yorubas that...
No. It has nothing to do with the Yorubas. It has nothing to do with... It was the doctrine of teachings. You are teaching me when I know more, when I'm supposed to know more than you. Who are teaching...
Who are those doing that teaching?
I have said it here. You did not go to school. You don't know Arabic.
When you use the word you, is relative. When you want to say you, I want you to call the name.
The Malams who are teaching never had a formal education. So it is what somebody has imparted on them, they are also imparting on another person. So you cannot miss. It is just like when you are in elementary schools, they said 1, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, you go on till 10 and they continue 11. And I know when one student has to challenge the teacher and said, you said 1 and now you are writing, you said 1 is 11. How can it be 11? It's supposed to be 1 till 1. You understand me? So it is just the teaching scheme and the teaching and what you are imparting on the other person. Is that what you are imparting really acceptable? Did you study? Did you do a research? Because most of our people don't do research. There is no methodology. So if we do research, we will be able to know that no, this is not what we are supposed to impart on the people. This is not what we are supposed to impart on our subjects. This is not what the religion accommodates. So you start taking it where people take it to the extreme. They take it to the extreme and they become fanatics. And you cannot contain it because you don't have another additional impact to make on that person.
All right, let's go back to the Salah celebration again. I think a lot of revelations are coming out right here for the Muslim faithfuls and non-Muslims alike. Now, let's look at the fasting that is being done. You say after the fasting, the Muslim faithfuls will have to wait for some days or months.
About 70 days.
About 70 days. That's about 3 months plus.
Yes.
Before the big Salah, which is being celebrated.
It's 2 months plus. It's not 3 months plus.
2 months plus. I beg your pardon. 3 months is 90 days plus. 60. That is 2 months plus. As it is right now, people who do not partake in that fast, do they have the right to celebrate this Eid el-Kabir that is being celebrated today? Eid Kabir that is being celebrated today, because the fast come before this celebration.
It is just very simple. You can't say you did not attend classes and you want to come and write an exam.
But we have people. We might have people today who are celebrating that didn't.
Yes, we are not saying that everybody should not celebrate. Everybody can celebrate. Whether you are a Muslim, you are not a Muslim, you can celebrate with us. You can enjoy the day with us. It really don't matter. Not as a source of worship. I know we have a lot of them that way outside there. I don't know who, but then that is just the truth, and that is the situation. Do you believe that some
people didn't fast? Is it possible? Do you believe that some Muslim faithfuls didn't fast?
Of course, you cannot say you're out of millions of them that some of them, one way or the other, did not fast. Then you will be deceiving yourself.
But what if you skip the fast?
Skipping of the fast is allowed, but you can fulfill it for reasons. If you are a traveler and maybe you have moved from Lagos by road to Kano during the fast, you have a very right to break your fast, because Allah has not said you have to overstress yourself because it is a cost of worship. If you can continue. If you can't, break it. You are so sick and you know your health is in danger, you have to break. They did not put it as a burden on you that because it is a fasting period, you must fast even when you are ill. No. Then for the pregnant women, yes, it's allowed for them to break up their fast. So you if you are also diabetics or you have ulcer or some form of illness, you can exist fasting. It is not a form of punishment.
Oh, all right. Let me take you back a little bit because one area that a lot of Nigerians may want to have a better understanding is when we were talking about the Almajiris. The Almajiris are known everywhere, especially in the north, even though we have some of them coming to other parts of Nigeria now because of freedom of movement and all of that. You said something very vital that these people are being taught what they are not supposed to be taught. All right. And that has resulted to so many things that you know. All right. Now, those that knew that what they were being taught is not what is obtainable, why did they keep quiet and this teaching continues?
I said it is a personal thing. It's a person. Some people have taken it as a personality walk up. Let me put it that way. Where I was to express myself and I said, after all, I give some aids to Malam this, Malam that, and when let me use the political language, when I need these people, I can use them. So some politicians, somehow, somewhere, also encourage these things because they know election is forthcoming. I can just call Malam this and say, since you have about 200 scholars, you tell the scholars.
The Almajiris?
Yes.
Oh, they are scholars.
Yeah, they are scholars. They are that's somebody tutelage. Islamic, Quranic scholars.
Oh.
Almajiris are not just there walking around the street. What we are supposed to be doing, we are supposed to monitor them, evaluate them, give them some kind of skills. That is what is done all over the world.
Are they scholars or they are supposed to be scholars?
They are scholars.
Okay, as it were, even though you said they were being taught what they are not supposed to be taught.
Yeah, because that is not
accordance with
Islamic practice. But
and you still want to call them scholars?
They are
the wrong thing?
Yes. Doctrine is followed. Doctrine is an applicable appliances that are used to mislead the lesser minds. That is doctrine. When you input doctrines into people, you are just blooding the people's mind negatively, not to ever get the truth to the root of success. That is doctrine. Doctrine is to misdirect you out of the pathway to truth and to success.
That's okay.
That is what it is. Because I know if you follow this pathway, this is where it's going to lead you to. It's going to lead you to success. I indoctrinate you to backslide into another fundamental work. So we indoctrinate people. They indoctrinate people every day. What do you think we have all this Boko Haram and all this? It is because somebody indoctrinated them. If they are taught the right path and give adequate skills and giving them the welfare to build their self up uprightly, you won't see that happen. So everybody will say they are Muslims, and they're slapped. It's a slap on the face of some of us who are following the Islamic doctrine. because they know what they are achieving from it.
Who are achieving something?
Those who are indoctrinating them.
Okay, people who are indoctrinating them
Yes.
are benefiting from it.
If there is no benefit, there is no way you are going to indoctrinate anybody.
So what do you think, in your own opinion, are the benefits? Because I heard you mention politicians. And,
Politicians are some of the part way to it. The majority of it is actually politicians. Because these are the people you can...
How this is...
Okay, which politician will come to meet me today and say, vote for me? I am not going to peruse and profile the politician. Who is he? No. Which politician will come to approach me and said, you have to vote for me, you follow me, become my campaign manager and the rest, and I'm not going to profile and peruse that person. But these people are not going to peruse you. They are not going to profile you.
Why won't they do that?
They won't do that because they don't have the knowledge. The perspective of knowledge follows wisdom. Allah gave us knowledge to build up wisdom. He never gave us knowledge to extradite people, to becloud the atmosphere. No. Allah gave us knowledge which we impart on us positively with additional wisdom to build a framework.
But when you say politicians are benefiting from it, don't you think it's an allegation?
There is no allegation in something that is very open. We have had cases of underage voting. We have had cases of disruptions here and there. These are people that are already indoctrinated. I'm not saying it's only in Islam. Even in Christianity, even in the wider world. You think anybody's son who wants to go and snatch? Why can't the politicians' children go to snatch buses?
So who do the snatching?
It is the same people who are being indoctrinated.
The Almajiris?
Okay, I'm coming. Have you seen any politician's child that is an Almajiri?
I don't even know their children.
Have you seen any?
But I've not heard anyway that any politician's child was
have you seen any
arrested.
Have you seen any bourgeois, the son that is an Almajiri?
I don't know. I don't.
So these are
themselves. I only hear about them, and I could remember back then in the north when I was still there. I see them. They come knock at your door and beg and
so have you seen any prominent person in Kano since you were in Kano, any prominent person's child in Kano who came to knock at your door to ask for house?
I don't even know the identity of those.
So these are details.
And I heard you just said that during the prayers there used to be a message, a teaching before the prayers, meaning we have scholars and stakeholders, all right, as far as Islam is concerned. What are those people doing concerning this matter?
That is the missing link. How do they become there? Who made them the leaders? It's the same political class. You heard of one imam that was preaching in the legislative quarters mosques that was removed just because he spoke against the so-called Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari then and his leadership. Is that the class of people you call leaders? Islam says, I am a leader, and if another leader is better than me, I hand over. It is not your permanent office. It is the word of Allah. So they impose imam on people.
All right. Well, as it is right now, our time is up. But you're bringing out a lot of revelations as far as the significance of the celebration is concerned. That is the Kabir celebration. So many thanks to you, a Muslim faithful, who have taken out time to come spell out the significance and the things happening around the celebration, and so many revelations are coming right now. Many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, viewers, and I pray that everybody should know that we are Muslims, Islam is our religion. I will continue to abide by the rules and process of Islam, and I will say I wish everybody the celebration of Eid Kabir. Assalamu alaikum. I would say the viewers should understand that the celebration is free for everybody, not just for the Muslims.
All right, the celebration is free for everybody and not just for the Muslims. This is going to be the size of the decks for today. Every opinion coming from our guest is totally their opinion and not that of Global Television. But so good you have this revelation handy today from a Muslim faithful in the person of Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. This is going to be the size of the desk. Once again, I want to say Barakah to all the Muslim faithfuls. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Bye-bye for now.